What's up with it, Raider Nation? It's your boy, Raider Honcho, and I'm back with a brand new video for you. Now today, before we get into any content or any of the video, I just gotta let you know it's Saturday night. I'm over here. I got the scissor because we celebrating a little bit. Before we get into anything, we gotta give a big shout out to some of the Raider OGs, which is gonna be Tom Flores and Charles Woodson. Congratulations on getting inducted to the Pro Football Hall of Fame. For Tom Flores, it's been long enough. So I got the scissor about. We're having a good time tonight, and we're gonna get into some content, okay? So in today's video, we're gonna talk about 3 players the Las Vegas Raiders should consider drafting in the 2021 NFL Draft, okay? Now, in this series, we're going to be talking about different player positions. For today's video, we're talking about the defensive tackles. Now, I will say, hold on a second. I will say that I took a lot of what I feel to be unnecessary flack and criticism for not drafting a DT in my mock draft 1.0. But I'm going to be honest with you. Some of y'all don't understand that it's a simulated draft and that I can only draft from the people that's available. And when I get to my pick, I'm going to pick the best player available based on my board and what I think our team needs, okay? So if you didn't see me draft the DT, it's not because I don't think we need one. It's just that it wasn't one worth taking when it was my turn to pick. But never mind all that. Let's get into this video. This is 3 guys I'm going to talk about that play defensive tackle that the Raiders should consider drafting, okay? Now, this doesn't mean that they should pick them at 17 or they should pick them in the first or second round. No, I'm just going to give you 3 guys that play defensive tackle that should be on the Raiders list of targets, okay? Potential draft guys, okay? So I'm going to go least favorite to favorite. These might not be the guys you hear about all the time. This might not be the guys that are on ESPN and everybody's talking about you should draft them. These are guys that I watch film on. These are guys that I've actually been scouting. I wouldn't say scouting. What's the word? Like, not assessing. These are the guys that these are guys I've been looking at, all right? God damn it. So, here we go. Number 3. Now, if the Raiders get to this deep in the draft and they haven't got a guy, I think they should look at Haskell Garrett, defensive tackle, Ohio State. Now, if you saw my videos before, you know that I'm a Michigan guy. So I've watched this guy play for a couple years now, and he keeps getting better. Now, in my opinion, he's probably going to drop to the 3rd round. So if you want to use your first 2 picks and go for safety, linebacker, or edge rusher, whatever you want to do, and you get late into the 3rd round, I think Haskell Garrett is a guy that you can pick. Now, he's a little more raw than all the other potential prospects that you can pick from, but he's a bull rush type of player. He has great hands, okay? He has great hands that he can shed blocks and get to the ball carrier. I think people assume that we need a DT just to get to the quarterback. No, it also plays an effect in the run game as well. We need a DT that can just be in the middle of the fucking line, right? Somebody who can just be there and stuff things, okay? It's not just about getting sacks, all right? So if you get deep into the 3rd round, maybe early 4th round, I think Haskell Garrett is definitely a guy that's probably going to be available. And if we've already filled some of those other needs, I think this is a guy that adds good depth to our roster. I don't think he's a guy that's going to start right away. I don't think he's a guy that might start at all. But if you get to the 3rd or 4th round and you want to pick a guy who can give you some production and who can challenge some of the other guys in the room, I think Haskell Garrett is a good pick. Now, before we go any further, I think it's important to point out that our DTs on our roster are really not like world beaters, okay? I think we got Malik Collins, I think we got Jonathan Hankins, and we have Mo Hurst. Out of those 3, I like Mo Hurst the most, but to be fair, all of those guys are replaceable, and all of those guys can be better and be pushed. So we're not just drafting guys like this guy can play right away. If you're drafting somebody later in the draft, you're drafting somebody who's going to give you potential production down the road, okay? It's not necessarily right now, okay? We have guys in there who should be able to play, but those 3 guys that I named that we have right now on our active roster, all 3 of those guys can be replaced, and that's just my opinion, okay? So keep moving down the list. Number 2, and in my opinion, this guy is probably the most underrated DT in the draft, okay? You hear about this guy's big board, that guy big board, this big school, this small school. You hear all that nonsense, all that white noise. I go off the tape, okay? I watch the guys. These aren't the guys that just like, oh, you should look at him. No, I go through, I listen to things. I've been watching football for a long time. This is what I do, okay? These are guys that I watch, okay? Now, somebody who I think is going very low under the radar is Aleem McNeil, defensive tackle from NC State. I swear to you guys, he is a problem. He is a beast, and his stock is going up. I don't know. I had him as a second round grade, but he might slide into the later the first round. So I don't know if he'll even be there for us. But this is somebody we should definitely look at. This guy is 6'2", 320 pounds. This boy will just fill up the middle of the line, okay? Super aggressive. He graded an 80.8 and a 77.5 back-to-back seasons as a pass rusher, okay? He has the best first step in the entire draft at this position, okay? First step is key. And to really think about what type of character he is, what type of football player he is, super aggressive. This guy lined up head on the center 90% of the snaps in 2019. 90% of the snaps, which is almost all of them, he lined up directly in front of the center. Anybody who's played football knows that it takes a special type of individual to want to line up directly in front of the center 90% of the snaps. Okay, so he's not one of those finesse guys. Like, he's somebody who's really trying to get it popping, okay? All right. He can not only be a force in the pass game, he can be a force in the run game as well, okay? We need, like I said in the play before this about Haskell Garrett, we need somebody who not just get to the quarterback, somebody who's going to be able to stop the runs on 3rd and 1, 4th and 1. We need to be able to get off the field. This is a guy that you can plug in there and I think can make an impact immediately. I think he can make an impact immediately if you can get him. Okay, he's an AP All-American. He's a first-team All-ACC player. This is not just some regular guy. This is somebody who can really change the dynamic of our defensive line right now. Okay, like, I don't put anybody ahead of him on our team. Like, you're looking at the tape, you're looking at the production. I saw Mo Hurst play in college. I don't know if Mo Hurst is better than this guy. All right, so I think if we can get a chance to get this guy, we have to really consider picking him up. He is a nose tackle, okay? Like, if you're an old school football player and you know about the nose guard, they don't even call that anymore, where you wear the face mask with the shit in the middle. He's one of those, okay? He don't care about how he look. He don't care about how he sound. He don't care about what nobody think except for playing football. That's the kind of guys I want, all right? So that's number 2. All right, now, let's get to the number 1 guy. I haven't been hearing a lot about him, but to me, he's probably the best defensive tackle in this draft. Now, a lot of people are going to talk about Alabama guys, Clemson guys, all kind of guys. I'm going to talk about this individual, and his name is Davion Nixon, defensive tackle, Iowa, 6'5", 305 pounds. Now, his quick twitch muscle is off the charts. Okay, you talk about Aleem's first step. It's very similar with Davion Nixon and his quick twitch muscles, okay? He's a former basketball player, so he's super athletic, okay? If you don't know how athletic he is, go watch the Penn State tape where he picks off a pass in the flat and runs it all the way back for a touchdown, and it hits a Euro step over the quarterback who tried to make the play on him. Go watch that, and you'll see what I'm talking about when I say athletic and quick twitch muscles. Obviously, you could tell he's super athletic, former basketball player. Now, very instinctive football player, okay? And what I mean by that is there are just some guys who just get it. Okay, there are some guys who don't need to watch as much film as others. They just get football. They just know how to move around the football field. And he is one of those guys, okay? He can pick up reads. He can pick up tendencies. He's very instinctive when it comes to the game of football. He is a super hard worker, okay? He went the JUCO route. What does that mean to me? Well, I played JUCO football, okay? I know what it's like to play JUCO. And usually 9 times out of 10, the JUCO talent might be better than the D1 talent. Or it's definitely better than D2, D3 talent. What JUCO is, in my experience, is a bunch of D1 NFL players that just didn't get any grades in high school. So they played JUCO for a year or two, and then they transfer. I believe Cam Newton is a JUCO player. I believe Aaron Rodgers went to JUCO. There's plenty of people that went to JUCO. JUCO players are freaking legit, okay? So he went the JUCO route. And you're asking, well, what does that mean? Like, so what? He played JUCO football. To me, it shows that he's a hard worker and he's willing to work for everything he has. When he got to Iowa, he wasn't a starter right away. He had to work himself off the scout team to become a player, get from 10 reps a game to all the reps a game. And that means a lot to me because usually there's a curse of the gifted that I believe in, okay? I was learning this at a young age, okay? Like, the curse of the gifted means that the more naturally gifted somebody is, sometimes they like to cut corners, right? Sometimes they haven't had to do all the steps to get to where they want to be at. Sometimes you can skip a few steps when you're that gifted. When you look at a guy like this, when you look at a guy like Davion Nixon, he didn't skip any steps. And that's the kind of players I want on my team. The ones that have been at the bottom and worked their way to the top. Not the guys who have necessarily just been so gifted they've already been there, there and won't know how to handle adversity. This is a guy I like, okay? He led the Big Ten with 33 tackles for a loss, okay? He led the entire Big Ten in tackles for a loss, all right? 2020 All-American, 2020 Big Ten Defensive Player of the Year. He is also ranked number 66 on PFF's big board, okay? Top 100 players coming out. This guy is not only a player, a game changer, a playmaker. This guy's an absolute stud and a franchise changer. You put him on the defensive line, your team is now competitive automatically, okay? And if we get some guys around the edge, I like Clee, I like Crosby. If you could plug a guy like this in, it changes the whole dynamic of our line. And if nothing else, it gives us depth with Mo Hurst and Hankins and Malik Collins. So I think this is a guy you really have to consider drafting, even at number 17. Okay, like if the guy you want is not there, you have to go production, you have to go value. To me, this guy is a definite first round lock. Okay, and if at 17 we don't see the safety we want on the board, or we don't see the edge guy we want on the board, I think we take this guy. All right, now, if you disagree with that, let me know down there in the comments, all right? Let me hear what you got to say. Those are the three guys that I think the Raiders should consider drafting in the 2021 draft. You got Haskell Garrett, you got Aleem McNeil, and you got Davion Nixon, okay? All defensive tackles. And the next installment of this, we're probably going to be working on DBs, and I'm going to give you three guys the Raiders should consider drafting in 2021 NFL draft at DB, okay? So, if you agree or disagree, let me know down there in the comments. If you like the video, like the video. If you like the content on this channel, subscribe to the channel. And before I go, I want to give a shout out to some of the OG Raider YouTubers that have been looking out for me, that have been shouting me out, that have really been coming to the channel, supporting. I appreciate all the support from everybody. I just started this channel, and I'm really excited to see what we can do with it. I'm just a Raider fan, baby. I'm just a Raider fan that watches the games. I look at the numbers, and I had an opinion, so now I'm here in front of y'all sharing it with y'all, and I appreciate all the feedback I'm giving. So, Graphic Raider, holla at your boy, man. I appreciate you looking out. Samoan Raider, appreciate you looking out, man. Y'all some of the OGs and the big homies. So, yeah, without y'all, I wouldn't even be doing this, all right? So I appreciate everybody. And until next time, Raider Honcho out.